Indian Institute of Science. Do you know Indian Institute of Science?
Yeah.
I'll ask one question. Is climate changing?
Yeah.
How do you know it is changing?
Becoming warm.
Winter cold and summer warm. So every year it is happening since that day when I took birth on this earth. But why it is called climate change now?
Because of global warming.
Those are big words which I don't understand. Small words you should put it in a simple way. Huh? Raining in summer. Okay. So that if it rains and if it's too hot during winter, then again it is changing. That's how you define it. Okay, we'll see. Anyone else? Yeah.
Summers have become hotter and I've been noticing there is less rainfall pattern.
I'll pick up that. Okay, that's good. So any other?
Droughts are there. Sometimes rainfall is not there. Droughts are not there.
Droughts and droughts. Okay. Good. Now, because you're all in the internet era, if you want to know what we do, this is a picture of a wetland. Okay, it's called Aganashi wetland. You know that wetlands get the designation of Ramsar and Ramsar wetland. What is Ramsar wetland means? Okay, see any wetland, wetlands are water bodies, lakes, etc., which has exceptional biodiversity and supports the livelihood of the people. They are designated as the Ramsar wetland of international importance. You know, when they get that recognition, the advantage is that many visitors come, okay, and there will be other improvements start happening. You know, because of our studies over the last 2.5 decades, we could get the tag for the Ramsar tag for the Aganashi HU. You know, but it took 25 years of research to say that what kind of birds are there, how many of them are migratory, what does it indicate. You know, if particular species of bird is there in the region, that also gives the health of the system and all those things. Okay, they are called bioindicators to some extent. Okay, then now I talked about changes in climate. I am going to give a picture of that. Okay, so now let me take up another area. You all know this picture, no? The front one. What is it?
Food chain.
Food chain. What does it indicate? What did you learn from looking at the food chain?
The sun is the sun.
Hmm?
The sun is the sun. There's balance.
There's a balance. Good. Then?
Without the sun, no source of energy.
Okay, I will tell you this simple way. You know, all of us eat food, no? Is there anyone who doesn't take food? Okay. Now, when we eat food, we get energy, and also with that material, we get to the body. You know, when producer food, the conversion of solar energy to the food happens. You have glucose, carbon, etc. Then next level is herbivore, which feeds on the producer. And next level is carnivore, which feeds on the herbivore and the producer. So when you look at this, there is energy and material transfer happen from one level to the other. Then whatever is left in the system is converted into elemental form by bacteria and fungi. So if you keep a bread piece outside, the tomorrow it is not there because that is consumed by bacteria and fungi. So now when you look at the nature, there is nothing called waste. Where do you see waste? Where do you see waste? Lakes. Okay. Then
Garbage dump?
okay, I will tell you in a simpler word, you will not forget. You will see waste. Where?
Landfill.
Where waste people are there. Now, who are all waste people? So I give an example. Bunch of fellows every day get food through Swiggy and Samata because they don't want to cook, they are so lazy. So they are one group of waste fellows. And my Kurkure friends, they are another group. Okay? They are all adding the synthetic material into the system. I am not against you eating the food, but the other part when you reject it, when you throw it out, that becomes a burden to the others. So that's where, what is the problem? Look at this. See, just now I had a breakfast. It was given in a plate, very delicious, no plastic was there. Okay? But what does foods do? They will have time, but they will be having mobile in their hand, sit in front of the TV, and then they don't work in the kitchen. And they place an order and they get it. And they all, synthetic material, paper cup. Do you know what is the problem with the paper cup? Somebody told me paper cups are environmentally friendly. Is it true?
Yeah.
Okay, why?
Biodegradable.
No, does it layer of plastic?
Very good.
Plastic
Then,
becomes water.
It has a layer of plastic inside.
very good. The recent study by IIT Kharagpur shows when you take a hot tea or coffee in the paper cup,
Plastic.
around 2000 to 3000 particles of that plastic, what he said, will get into your coffee or tea, and that gets into your blood. So, that's why cancer is increasing in many cities in the country and in the globe. And of course, Bangalore is number one. So now, see, who are all those waste fellows? See, they cannot take the tiffin carrier to the hotel. They get it packed like this. And they will sit in this one, they will eat. Okay? And look at this guy, samosa. What kind of plastic he has used? Black bag. Okay? And then finally they will throw it. Our wild animal will eat it. Your cattle will eat it. Then you will have a bin with plastic. And then, even the Prime Minister has to come for cleaning the street. So, what happened? Now, the recent studies, which is published in a very good journal, Nature, shows that there are nanoparticles in our blood that will lead to the health consequences. Okay? So, why I am against plastic? See, one is it has chemicals like BPA. They have a dioxin. These are all the chemicals which are carcinogen. That means it introduces cancer. See, you might say, let me have a cup of coffee today. But you do not know that cup of coffee might have given you the cancer also. So, now the message is, let us refuse to use plastic. Okay? When you refuse, there won't be waste. Okay? At least your generation should take this message stronger. Okay? Now, look at the thing. Who are the people who get affected? Children and your age group are the people who get affected. Okay? Now with that, let me come to the next topic, climate change. As you said, if you are saying there are changes in climate change, you should also tell why. You cannot say yesterday was hot because the climate has changed. See, if your mother is shouting at you today morning, you cannot brand her as a bad lady. You would have done some mistake, because of that reaction is there. Similarly, temperature will be changed from season to season and all. Those are natural phenomena. But when there is a continuous increase in temperature, that's the way the data tells. That's where as a student, you will collect the data for many years to find out what is the temperature. What is the temperature of Bangalore today? Or this season?
23 degrees Celsius.
23 degrees. Huh? Any other?
21.
26
25.
36 we have not one now. Okay. 23 to 26 is this season. Okay. But if 26 becomes 36 during this period, that means there is a problem. Okay. So now, what is the problem with the temperature change? If there is an increase in temperature, let us have air conditioner and sleep under that. That's what some fools tell me. Correct, no? You are also saying that. Huh? But you see the disaster that the last 2 decades, number of disasters have increased and sea level is increasing. Is there anyone from coastal area, Chennai, Mangalore? From where? Mangalore. So in 10 years, Mangalore will not be there. You raise your hand, no? You are from? Chennai. Okay. Mangalore, she is from Calcutta. So all these cities now are vulnerable. The 9-year-old nice standard kid. Okay. Now, see, let us understand how it affects our food. You all know biodiversity?
Yeah.
Hello? You should talk to me, not to her. Huh? What is diversity?
Difference, variety.
Varieties, okay? When you have varieties of biological organisms, plants and animals, what is the use of that?
It helps create a balanced ecosystem.
Those are bada. Take me in a simple way, like I am your classmate. Now I want to learn from you. Tell me in a simple way.
It helps create a balanced ecosystem. It helps create a balanced ecosystem.
Still simpler.
It helps make it even.
From your point of view, you tell how you are benefited because of diversity. Okay, because of diversity, varieties of plants and animals, you have variety of food. Because of variety of food, your body gets immunity. That means it gives you the health. So that's where biodiversity is important. If you want health, then your plate should be diverse. You know, that's why people who take the multiple the food items, they are healthy compared to pizza fellows, kurkure fellows. You know, like kurkure only they will be talking, okay? Pizza fellows will be club like that only, okay? Without much brain work, okay? Now, with the changes in climate, the prediction shows we will lose the varieties of plants and animals. Now, if you look at, if I increase the temperature by 1.5 degrees, I lose 79% of the, the forest, and another 0.5 degree it becomes 99%. Okay? Then, if I take species, other biological organism, the plants, I will lose 9. See, I will lose 6 insects, then 8 plants, and 4 vertebrates. Insects. I am not talking about mosquitoes and all. Mosquitoes will increase, but I will lose insects like honeybees, butterflies, etc. What is the problem if I lose honeybees?
No honey.
No honey.
No pollination.
Very good. No pollination, because of that, no food. Okay? Then vertebrate. Who are vertebrates?
As
When
mammals.
you go home now, you ask your parents, okay, whether they have vertebral column.
Yeah. It's animals who have spines.
No, you all might have.
Yeah.
But my generation,
Don't.
Yeah.
you ask, okay, you check, they will not have vertebral column. Because of that, I see so much waste in the road. As he said, lake is getting solid waste. All these are signs of absence of vertebral column. Do you agree or disagree?
Agree.
To some extent, okay. Now, you see that see, instead of 6 insects, I will lose 18. Then 16 plants I will lose, and 8 the vertebrates I will lose. You know, they become extinct. You will not get them at all. So that means the benefit of those organisms you will not have it. Okay? Then, if I take drought, somebody told me about drought. The increase, 350 million people get affected because of drought. which will become another 0.5 degrees Celsius, it will become 410. And now sea level rise, if you look at, 46 centimeter become 56 kind of thing. And about 15 million people get affected. The totally about 49 to 50 million people get affected. Now people from coastal area, they will get submerged. You will not see them. Don't think that people in Bangalore will survive. They will die of floods or drought. So that's where you need to understand the concept of changes in climate. Okay? Now, to summarize, you have the problem of drought, floods, glacier might happen, and more importantly, food productivity comes down. 60% of our food we will lose because of changes in climate by 2100. Not your time, but your children's time, you will face the problem. Okay? So, now these are the problems associated with the changes in climate. The most worrying thing is the health. The moment increase in temperature or the reason, you will have more and more vector-borne diseases. Like chikungunya, dengue, and such problems. So that's where you have to worry about the thing. That means your food get affected, your health get affected, and if you want to stay in the city become vulnerable, coastal area become vulnerable, that means life on earth become miserable. How many of you want life on earth very miserable? No one wants, no? Okay. So now, who causes this? There are gases in the atmosphere. Some concentration is already there. The species of carbon, like carbon dioxide, methane. Then you have the nitrous oxide, the fluorinated gases. These are all there, some part. But when the concentration increases, they form a thick layer. It does not allow the sunlight to escape. Because of that warming of the earth happens. With the warming of the earth, you will have the climate, the rainfall pattern will change, temperature will change, etc. When your mother at home, when she becomes too angry, you should go and touch her head. You will suddenly see her temperature has increased. Don't do anything, just go and touch. And you will see that. So that means when the mother earth, the temperature increases, we have all these problems, okay? Now those concentration of the gases, I am not getting into the details of that. They form a thick layer that will, that doesn't allow the sun heat to escape. That phenomena is called greenhouse gas, and these gases are called greenhouse gases. Greenhouse gases are species of carbon, etc.
If the heat is not allowed to go out, it can't come in here.
Yes, that is the reason. Okay? Now, how it happens? See, one is when you generate electricity, you burn coal, there is an emission, carbon dioxide, etc. Similarly, when you generate electricity from hydro resources, you have methane generation. Then when you run your vehicle, your house is next door. Next apartment is your house. But your dad will take his car, come here, drop here and go back. So that means, when he burns fuel, there is an emission, okay? So then, see, and deforestation. When we lose vegetation, we have a serious problem. What are the functions done by the trees?
Oxygen.
They give us food.
Okay, they take carbon from the atmosphere and gives you oxygen. Who is not breathing here? I saw somebody closing the eyes. I was told by my teacher, when the concentration of the oxygen comes down, we have a tendency to sleep.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
Okay. So now, see, that's where at the international level, people started thinking about sustainable development. How to improve the situation. Okay? See, our agenda is to tell you these things so that at least tomorrow we are a better person. If you are using a plastic too much at home, you will start the protesting and say that let us not have this plastic at home. See, it is not that too difficult to cook at home. Why should we depend on Swiggy and suppose if you place an order for dosa, when you prepare at home, what is the cost of dosa when you prepare at home? In Swiggy, let us say it is 80 to 100 rupees. At home when you prepare, what would be the cost?
0 rupees. 20 to 30. 20 to 30.
Yeah, maximum 10 to 20 rupees. And when you prepare at home, I have asked the question, now it is over. Question is over, you don't have to answer now. When I prepare dosa at home, I don't generate waste like plastic, paper, etc. But when Swiggy Mama brings the dosa, for a dosa which is 20 rupees at home, I end up paying 100 rupees. But he will also dump plastics, unnecessary packaging material. Do you think it's a good idea to depend on Swiggy Mama?
No.
And then we do not know what kind of food he has brought, where it is prepared, what kind of hygienic environment. The other day I followed one fellow who was supplying the food. I went to the shed where the food is prepared. I realized that nobody will touch the food if they see where it is cooked and what kind of water is used. So which means, unhygienic products are getting into our system and we are becoming more and more unhealthy in the system. Okay? So now I will just take a small break. I want somebody to summarize what I spoke, 1 or 2 persons. Okay? Who will do that? I'll give you the. Let everyone hear.
We said there are plastic and paper cups and it melts and the nanoparticles go to that. And cancer gets caused due to this. You said climate change happens due to excessive AC. And you said we lose 75% of coral, lose the butterfly species, and if the temperature increases by 1.5 degrees Celsius, and yeah, that's all.
And even you spoke
Give
about
it to this
wetlands.
And even you spoke about wetlands.
Okay? You have some additional thing? Okay, give me the brief.
Sure. Yeah, so like biodiversity also diversity is basically like the variety. So biodiversity is basically like the variety of plants and animals. So this helps us give us food. So like if biodiversity goes down, we will have less food also. That's also due to climate change.
Very good. I will ask the next set of questions. See, I am so happy to see these things. There are no plastic bottle, there is no plastic cup. But the only problem I have is with this. To manufacture that, how many bamboo people we have lost? You should understand those things. It's not difficult to lead a life without that. See, I am carrying this. This has traveled with me to US and other countries also, including Pakistan. So, I have gone to Pakistan, Bangladesh also. Taught them that how to maintain the environment. Okay? Then, so now coming back, see, agenda of our science. See, why do we do the research? We want to make sure whatever the things we can reduce the burden, alternative, without, if somebody is using too much of plastic, asking them to stop plastic is not correct. But if we give alternative which is environmentally friendly, then that problem won't be there. So our agenda is to make sure that our air, water and environment are not contaminated. That means all of you will have clean air, water and environment. Okay? So now coming back to the diversity. Do we have more than one earth?
No.
I was told by Shukla, he saw one more earth. Who is the Shukla? Recently we sent him up, no? He told me he saw two earths.
Maybe it's hallucinating.
He saw one earth. Within that, he saw his mother. In his mother or he saw the second earth.
So we
Correct? Okay. Now, on this earth, what is the diversity of life? How many plants and animals are there on the earth?
8 to 12 million species.
Children,
8,
what are you boasting, man? The animals are there on the earth.
8 to 12 million species.
Billions.
Okay. But I didn't say from where I got that number. We have 8 to 12 million species. As per our scripture. You know, Rigveda talks about 8 to 12 million species. In our science, we have estimated 1.3 million species. Out of 1.3 million species, we know the medicinal properties of biochemical composition for only 15%. That means 85% of 1.3 million we do not know. Already we are losing them. You know, deforestation is happening, we are losing them. Now, let us see which part of the earth has the highest number of plants and animal species. Latitude, you know the latitude, longitude, no? I will take you this one. See, we work in Western Ghats. I come to this slide. Latitudinally, when you look at it, you will see the highest number of plants and animals at this region. You know, that corresponds to 8 to 14 degree latitude, or 15 degree latitude, which corresponds to Kerala, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Goa part of Western Ghats. That means some of us have inherited such a rich land or earth. It's our responsibility to protect that and give it to our children. Okay? So now you understood it. Somebody from Kerala. I have come from a diverse landscape. Karnataka. Again, it's a diverse landscape. So now in Western Ghats, the changes in temperature is happening. See, our study shows that Kerala has become warmer by 1.5 degrees Celsius.
True.
And rainfall pattern has changed. You know, it is supposed to have rain for 6 to 8 months, but now it doesn't happen. In a few days or a few weeks, you have large quantum of rain. Because of large quantum of rain in a short duration, you have the floods. Because of the flood, you had a problem of why not? You know, is there anyone from Kerala? Okay. So you know why not problem?
Yeah.
Tell me. Why you didn't tell me? I know this.
Landslides.
Landslide, mudslide. See, the tragedy is 150 families washed away in that flood. Okay? So, now, how did we predict? See, what we did is, we took picture of the earth. You know, if I have picture of yourself today and 10 years back, what is the use of that picture?
Evolution.
Difference.
I can see the change. Very good. Now, I have put my camera in the aeroplane. As it moves, it takes a photograph. Okay? I can get the picture of this classroom. If I put it on the satellite keep revolving the earth. You know, I take a picture at regular interval, 21 days, 30 days. We launched the satellites way back in 70s. That means before your birth, I have the picture of the earth. Now, after your birth, what changes have happened, I can analyze. Do you agree with that? And today, we are going to launch another satellite, which will also...
Today? Like
Today
today?
evening, you watch TV, Lisa, okay? So then our Utkash will tell you about those satellites later.
Who's Utkarsh?
So now, that picture is there. See, the problem with that picture, no? Satellite goes like this. It takes a picture from the top. If I take a picture from the front, I can make out who you are. But I have your head in that photograph, your shoulder. From that, I should find out what kind of landscape is that, whether it's a forest, agriculture, or building like that. Is it easy or difficult? Difficult. Slightly difficult, no? But we have found out how to do that. We find out that is called training data. You know, we collect the places where buildings are there, find out what is the spectral signature of that in the remote sensing data, and then we do the classification. Now, coming back to the simpler words, you know, we have the picture of the Western Ghats from 85 to 2018. The green is forest. When you look at it carefully, green is declining. Not only green is declining, green is also getting fragmented. That means the forest is getting degraded in the Western Ghats. Okay. Now, before I proceed further, forest does lot of job. Does forest do the job? What kind of job forest do?
Give us food,
Huh?
give us food, give us oxygen.
Okay. Now, how much oxygen it has produced? The converse is that how much carbon is stored. Okay. Now we did the quantification. The carbon that is stored in the trees above the ground. This is below ground, root portion, and this is soil. And this gives the total carbon. And every year, this much carbon gets added. That's what we do. My students do this kind of assessment. How do they assess how much carbon is there in the plant? Can you guess?
40 billion.
Huh? Google only, when I put it, Google will answer. Take my article and then it will say. Huh? Google is not the right forum. Only fools use too much of Google. To do the class assignment, if you use, that means what will happen to you? Brain won't work. That is dangerous. So your brain should work means you should not use Google for your class assignment. Correct? No? Okay, coming back here. How much carbon is stored in this one? In Western Ghats? About 1.23 million gigagram. And every year about 37,000 gigagram gets added. But look at the money part. If I have to have a machine and produce oxygen, how much money I would have spent?
Yeah.
That's where you see in some of the cities there are oxygen generating machines are there. Look at the electricity cost, etc. Now, if you assign that, it amounts to 100 billion rupees. That means the Western Ghats is doing a job of storing 100 billion rupees worth of carbon. Now, I was asking a question. At that time, my friend told me, Google, how do you measure the carbon of a tree? I will ask simple question. How do I find out the weight of an individual?
Weighing scale.
Huh?
Weighing scale.
Weighing scale. Okay, if I don't have weighing scale, you see the height, isn't it? You see the height and then you say, okay, he must weigh that much weight. Okay. Now I will end my talk with a small. It's 10:45. Okay, another 2-3 minutes. Okay. So you all know frogs, no?
Yeah.
Why do we call them as amphibians?
Because they can survive in water and
land and water.
Okay, yes, sir. Yes.
They can breathe on land and water.
they can survive in water and on land.
All of you are going to listen. Huh? Frogs life cycle, when you look at it, has 2 stages. Tadpole stage
and
is
adult
like a fish like, it requires water. Next stage is adult stage, which requires the land. Because of the dual life, they are called amphibians. If there is no water, what will happen to frog?
They won't
They
exist.
won't be able to lay
They
eggs.
cannot survive now. But we saw the young frogs in a region where there was no water. We were surprised. When we went and saw that, that species Pilatus leucorrhina, after fertilization of the egg, we saw the young fellows coming out of that egg. There was no tadpole stage. Then we got the fertilized egg to our lab, we monitored. On 14th day, we saw the tiny frogs moving around in our lab like our tulika.
Tulika.
Okay, Tulika is my 9th standard kid. So, now that means frogs have learned how to get adapted to a situation when there is no water on the, but with water scarcity, none of us will survive. That's where let us be responsible, let us understand this concept, and now I'll give a break for about 8 minutes. Huh? We also discovered 2 fish. We named that. Like you have a name now, we also named the fish based on where it is and which genus it is. As Stura and Agodiensis, Shishtura, Sharavati, one is in Nagodi district, other one is in Sharavati river, okay? So now, what is the beauty of that fish? It has a medicine. You can use it for asthma, curing and bronchitis. You don't have to do that. Get up.
Biodiversity for
I can't hear. I will pass on the mic.
Pass on the baton.
I will come to this side afterwards, okay?
About the biodiversity for people, 8 to 12 million species of humans, and 1 to 1.9 million species. For ecosystem in Western Ghats hold 1.6 to 3 mg.
That's it. Okay, yeah. Give it to her.
She spoke about how the Western Ghats has some of the highest biodiversity, but how it's decreasing because of the increased carbon mass of the trees. And then you spoke about how the climate change is affecting even the Western Ghats and the biodiversity there. And then you spoke about the frogs and the tadpoles and their life cycle and how they've adapted to live without water.
Anyone wants to add? Yeah. Can you give it to her? No, yeah.
So you spoke about from 1985 to 2018, you had realized that in the Western Ghats, the forest was getting degraded, and the amount of carbon in the forest was 100 billion rupees worth of carbon. Then you spoke about the dual life of frogs, how they're called amphibians because in the starting stages they become fish-like, like a tadpole, and then they develop, they can survive on land. You also spoke about how some frogs have learned, you studied how some frogs have learned to live without water because in places where there are not enough water. And we spoke about that fish which has asthma curing and wheezing curing properties. How plastic is harmful and we have to avoid it as much as possible.
Avoid as much as possible. Yes.
And to avoid tomato mama.
And
to avoid Swiggy mama.
And also Google Mama.
Yeah.
Both are bad, okay? We got those fish to Bangalore. We cultured it in our lab. And then when we measured the medicinal properties, no, none of the fish had medicinal properties. We were grown in Bangalore.
Because of pollution.
Like Bangaloreans. You know, Bangaloreans are useless fellows, no? Huh? Pollution and all.
Yeah, pollution.
Okay, now, what does it say? If you want medicinal property, you have to grow them in their habitat. Their habitat is Sharavati river. And for them to grow there in that stream or river, they should have water throughout the year. For that to have water, the surrounding forests are required. So that's how it gives a linkage with the forest ecosystem also. Okay? That is another topic which will take slightly longer. That linkages we have looked at it. If there is a forest, will you have water? Do you?
Yeah.
How do you know?
Because for the forest to grow, it needs water.
Huh?
For the forest to grow and become at a stage, it needs water.
That depends how much.
See, because the surrounding area is concretized, no? There is no groundwater recharge happens. Whereas here, groundwater recharge happens because the surface is porous. Okay, when the surface is porous, the water gets in and there is an infiltration happens because of that groundwater recharge happens. Okay, so now I was telling you about what kind of food you should take. Okay, I feel that you all should have more protein through pulses. Okay, what is the benefit of pulses in your food?
High
Protein.
protein content.
Protein.
See, the science says it helps with weight management, optimal brain functioning, it has vitamin and mineral, and it reduces cancer. It also boosts metabolism, and also it reduces cell and gene damage. See, you all want to be very active, no? See, those who are very active will listen in the classroom to teachers without talking among themselves. Those who are not active, no, they will be grumbling, they will be chatting with the neighbor and all those things. So now if somebody is grumbling and talking like that, no, that means I know that they are eating more of pizza, not the pulses. Okay? Now, you know when this food plate, your food plate should be like this. You should have varieties of vegetable, varieties of fruit and pulses. You know, when your plate is diverse, when your food plate is diverse, your body gets immunity and you will be healthy and you will be intelligent. If it is not diverse, then you will not be. Okay? So now, if you start eating pulses, what is the benefit? Let us look at. See, now, if you look at water, to grow a kg of pulses, you need about 200 liters of water. If you want to grow a rice or wheat, it requires 3,000 to 5,000 liters of water. Okay? So now, and more importantly, when you start growing pulses, you know, in that agriculture field, if there are wild animals passing through the agriculture field, no, the wild animals won't touch that pulse plant. That means there won't be human-animal conflict. So you can reduce that problem also in the region, especially in Kerala and Karnataka, you know, Kodagu and all, there are human-animal conflicts, okay? So, now with this, I'll come to the Bangalore. 100.
We could see the stars at night.
Now also I can see the stars.
Because of the pollution, it's not. It's reduced a lot.
Pollution does not count.
And the street lights are always on. So how do you
Okay, now
There were more lakes.
there were more lakes. Yes.
More of green cover. More forest.
Okay, see today's Bangalore, children, boys, what is your question? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, Black 740 square kilometer area. And during Kempegowda's time, we had 1,452 water bodies in Bangalore. Today we have 216 water bodies.
193.
And 82% was green cover in Bangalore. Today green cover is less than 3%. Now what is the advantage? Temperature in Bangalore during that time, in May month, May is a summer month, temperature was 14 to 16 degrees Celsius. And today, in May month, temperature is 36 to 38 degrees. See what the changes we have done, no? Now for few days in December, temperature in Bangalore was 0 degrees. And we were growing apple in a place called Palace Orchard. You know Bangalore Palace Ground, you know, no?
Yeah.
During 1800, Kempegowda time, we were growing apples. Today, what are we growing? We are growing waste. People conduct events, they throw the waste and go. So, these are the, now the city of Bangalore, which was garden city, became garden city, and today is almost a dead city. Now, let us look at how Bangalore looks from the top. Huh? See, when you look at Bangalore, you have interconnected lakes. You know, water moves from one lake to the other. This is one set of lake. This is another set. This is the third one. See, and your school is somewhere here. Okay? And here is the KC Valley. See, Hebbal Nagavara is this one. This is KC Valley. Bellandur Marto. And this is Rushabhavati. Okay? So now, how Bangalore has changed with the time, let us see. See, 1973, Bangalore was green, rich vegetation was there, to 68%. Blue is water body, red is the buildings. Now look at 2025. Huh? Red. So, see, Bangalore has become red like you guys wearing red t-shirt. Okay, now let me just show it. This is how changes happened. See, 1973, 68% green cover. The city was known as a garden city. And 92, you can see the left side. The changes are happening here, because of industries coming up. Then 2000 to ITBT, information technology, biotechnology started in the outskirts. With that, changes happened in this region. Okay. Then 2006 intensification, 2009 further intensification. Now, if this continues, we will have 90% of the landscape covered only with the building. So that's where we are telling the government, from 8% here in 73, the buildings cover 86% now or 88%. Okay? Now, this is the situation of Bangalore now. Okay? Say, now you carry water bottle to this one now. Your children will carry this kind of thing, oxygen cylinders. How many trees are there in your campus? On the satellite, we counted how many trees are there in Bangalore.
Yes, counted. But number 1, number 2.
Yes, we did. Say, this is our campus, okay? This is our campus. Using the GPS, global positioning system, my student went to each tree. He hugged the tree, he took the coordinates of the tree, latitude, longitude, and he could identify the tree. So that's what he did. Huh? One second. I am coming into that. See, first you start from your institution. Okay, this is my campus, Institute of Science. We are about 400 acres. Okay, in 400 acres, when he did the mapping, we got 22,000 trees. We linked that with the remote sensing data picture. Now we got the link, ground data to the satellite picture. Like this, we did it in couple of areas. Then with that knowledge, using remote sensing data for the entire Bangalore, that means picture for the entire Bangalore, we estimated how many trees are there in Bangalore. 14,78,000 trees are there. Population in Bangalore is about 95 lakhs. 95 lakhs, that is a stable population. If you add all these people who come now, it might be 1.2 crore. Now by that, for every 7 person, 1 tree is there. How many trees are required per person? 7. Because I have written there, no? See, on what basis you say 7? No. On what basis you have come to the 7? You saw there, no? Now, I will give a simpler thing. When you breathe, how much carbon dioxide you are giving out? Okay, you may not know. You are giving out about 980 grams per person per day. That means about a kg of oxygen you are taking every day. And 1 hectare of tree gives oxygen, takes away the carbon to an extent of 9 tons. By that ratio, for every humans, there should have been 7 or 8 trees. What we have in Bangalore is 7%, 1 tree. That is bad or good? Bad. Okay. Now, see what I said so far. Nothing new. Look at our literature. For example, Bible talks of importance of trees. At least 320 times. What happened? You have some question? Bible talks of the importance of the tree at least 320 times. People do not know why on Christmas Day the tree is kept. Okay? Then similarly, Quran talks of imminent war if you pollute the water. That's where when you go to Dargah, you have to wash your feet and finger with a clean water. They thought that if you practice at Dargah, you will also practice at home and in the community. See, if you look at Matsya Purana, the literature which we follow, there is a link between the trees, children, and the water. For example, if you have a well at home, you have enough water, you are wealthy. 10 wells are equal to 1 lake, 10 lakes are equal to 1 sarovar, 10 sarovar is equal to 1 child, 10 children are equal to 1 tree. That means benefit of having 10 children you can have it by planting and nurturing a sapling. I'll put it other way. When a person cut a tree, he or she is murdering 10 children. Don't you see it's a very effective? That's what we learn from the literature. Okay, that's why you should make a habit of reading books.
What you said was that we have climate change, and that's because we are polluting the environment, and that we are also producing a lot of carbon dioxide, etc. Which will lead to temperature rise. This temperature rise will lead to a rise in sea level, which will lead to submerging of coastal areas, which will also lead to many extinction of many different plant species, animal species, etc. You also explain about the frogs and how they lead a real life, etc. and the amphibians. You also explain about the fish that you found in a Shagada river, if I'm not wrong. Sharavati river, yes. Yeah. And you said that it can only produce a medicinal effect if it's found in that river and not if it's cultured in Bangalore or anywhere else. So, and you also talked about the green cover in Bangalore and about how it's decreased drastically over the last 2 centuries approximately, and about the amount of lakes and the water bodies that were there in the 1800s and about how many there are now, which was about 1493 if I'm not wrong, and now it's 192 as shown in the slide, and it's like less than, the green cover is less than 8% now. Yeah, and you also talked about how one tree should be is equal to 7 people in Bangalore, as only 14 lakh trees as shown in your study, and there are 98 lakh people in Bangalore. And you also said that there should actually be 7 trees per person for the amount of carbon dioxide. Yeah. For the amount of carbon dioxide and oxygen which we require.
Okay, did you miss anything? Anyone wants to add?
So we need pulses and biodiversity and all that, and to eat diverse foods, like not sticking to one item. Instead, we have a lot of it through our health and things that boost our immune system and help us be active.
Today I just want to share, she showed a map various times today. So I am someone who is living there for past 1 year. Do you want to know how I reached there? By the way, before that I want to know how many of you have been to IISc?
No, I have been.
I've seen the game.
Great. So because on every year there is one day that is called open day. For the same that is written on my t-shirt. So we open our campus for all of you to come see what all these scientists are doing, how their research lab looks like. Now since you all are from 7th to 9th standard, so have you ever heard of an exam called KBPY? Probably after this you can go to your teachers and ask them. There is another exam called JEE. Might be your cousins or someone have heard. Good. So there are quite a few exams and there are lot of degrees which you can pursue over there. Starting from the sciences, technology and research. So just after this session, go to your parents, go to your teachers and ask them what degrees have they pursued. Was it related to science? They must be knowing about science. And for that, the most important thing is I realize all of you are brilliant chance. So if you focus right now, like how to prepare for it, definitely you have a very high chance to come here and study from the professor like these. Because I must tell you, our batch size is even smaller than yours. We are just 10 students and 15 teachers in a department. So for that, you really need to work hard, but I'm sure if you will, you can definitely reach it. Thank you. Any more questions?
Start? Alright, so my session is called Biodiversity for Life. Sir had a particular slide where he had mentioned biodiversity for people. And I have mentioned as the title, biodiversity for whose life? Living on? Is it, okay, is it our life? Or is it the life of other organisms? So what does biodiversity mean? Biodiversity means don't use plastic. Varieties of living organisms. Thank you. So the word biodiversity basically means variety of life. So it not only includes plants and animals, but also all life forms, including the microorganisms. Is that understood? Okay. So how did or where does this biodiversity exist? So what about in the school? There is no life. So how can you say biodiversity exists in forest? Now my question was very simple. I did not ask where do you find lot of biodiversity. My question is where do you find biodiversity? Arctic, Antarctic? Yes? Microorganisms? Okay, we will look at that. So now before we go ahead, I would like to give you a particular fact. And can you gentlemen sit straight please? Thank you. He forgets that he is in the classroom. Okay. Alright, so the fact is, how many of you drink water? Raise your hand. All of you drink water. Anybody who has not raised their hand? This is not raising hand. This is raising hand. Yes. And I think there are 2 people at the end who don't drink water. You know, people who work with biodiversity, right? We have very good eyesight and hearing. So we can spot the ones who are thinking, okay, I have not seen, so I'll hide. We can especially see. Alright, so the fact is, we all need to save tiger because we need water. If there are no tigers in the Western Ghats, when you turn on the tap, only air will flow and no water. Okay. How is my question to you? So, can you?
Other animals drink water, and if tigers don't kill them, there will be no life cycle.
Do you think it is correct? Can you pass the mic?
So this question was actually given in the last section when Bhaiya had come last time, and he had told us that if there are too many herbivores, they will constantly keep drinking the water, and the water supply will reduce. So we won't get that much water.
You were going in the right direction, then suddenly deviated. Pass the mic. Exactly. Okay. Any other answers? It has nothing to do with animals drinking water. We all need to drink water, okay? So no other answers. What? Plants do drink water, yes. That's what I said. You went in the right direction and then deviated. We'll come back. Okay, I'll give you some time to think. I know this fact is little hard to digest because you cannot see the linkage. Right? So I'll give you some time, think about it. Meanwhile, we'll discuss other things and then at the end we'll come back to it. Agreed?
So I think like if tigers like go extinct or whatever, like if they disappear,
okay.
The herbivores will like thrive and there will be like no natural predator like to eat them. So like there, so like water, like the population will increase too much, so then the water required will also increase. So that's why like there are a lot of things that start happening.
Are you convinced with this answer?
No.
Yeah, he and she gave similar answers. Now remember, I am not saying carnivore. I am very specifically saying tiger. If what they are saying is correct, I would have said carnivore. Presence of carnivore will determine water presence. Right? But I am not saying that. I am saying specifically tiger. So I give you time to think, try to relate, and meanwhile we discuss other things and come back. You have an answer?
These are national animals.
No. Okay. Yeah. No. Okay, we'll come back later. Okay? So how many of you like nature? So many don't like. You don't like nature? This is not raising hand. Yes, this is raising hand. Okay, put your hands down. Most of us like nature. Yeah? Or at least 90%. Those who don't like, I don't know how you will breathe or drink water or have food. Because without nature, none of this is available for us. Okay? So nature is different for all of us. Some of us imagine wooded forests like these. Yeah? Some of us look at mountains and valleys, and some of us like water bodies, like waterfalls, rivers, lakes, ponds, oceans, anything. But we all go and enjoy these nature or natural places, but we never think how it came into existence. So we call that as a lucky spot. Yeah, lucky spot. If the earth was any closer to the sun, what would have happened? What? How? What is the essence of life? Thank you. Who said that? Water. Water is the most important factor for life to exist on any place. So on earth, water exists in liquid state, because of which it enabled life. If it was any closer, the water would have evaporated and life would not have existed. You and I would not be here, right? And the same thing if it was any further. It would appear in the state of solid. Again, life would not have been possible on earth, right? So that's why the exact distance from the sun is what enables water to appear in liquid state, because of which life started as microorganisms. Okay? Then, because of the changing conditions on the planet Earth, they started evolving into other organisms, more complex organisms. So single-celled organisms started evolving into multicellular organisms, and they started depending on one another for food or protection or mutual relationship with other organisms in order to survive and thrive on this planet. And slowly, once they dominated the Earth, the place was not enough, so they started moving to the terrestrial habitats as well. So once they came onto the land, their habitat were quite different, and they started evolving and adjusting themselves to survive all these conditions. So we see lots and lots of diversification today, right? And in this process of evolution, who comes the last? Yes. So if you see even a mosquito around you, before hitting it and killing it, please respect it because it's your senior. Yeah. It evolved during the time of dinosaurs and still exists. So you have to respect them because they have been surviving for a very long time on this planet. Maybe not the individual mosquito you are about to kill, but the species, okay? Now, why so much of diversification happened? It is because of the drift. Which drift? Not your car drift.
The continental.
Continental drift, which you study in your social science. So, you know that land masses move every year, right? They are continuously moving. How much do they move?
A little bit.
I know I have 2 years, but I still can listen only to one. So, who can raise their hand and answer? Yes? No. 1 millimeter per? No. Close to that. Yeah, got the answer. Yeah, based on the place, 2 to 5 centimeter per year, it keeps on moving, and that, as you can see where we are, was part of the Africa. Yeah, Gondwana land. So from there the landmass broke out and then drifted apart and joined the Asian continent. Okay. So like that, we see different changes happening in the land masses. With the changes of land masses, wherever it is placed, you would have learnt about equator, Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of Capricorn, and all that, right? So is the climatic conditions same everywhere? You have a question?
Yeah, I have a doubt. Is it true that the Himalayas were formed because India clashed with Asia?
Yes. Himalayas were basically a seabed. Okay. So, coming back, the weather condition is different in all the places across the earth, right? So, when these land masses move, the habitat there also changed, and with the habitat, the fauna species also had to undergo changes in order to adapt and survive in those conditions. Is that clear? Okay. Now, let's see the diversification. When you go to the plants, we have close to 4 lakh different species found on Earth recorded so far. Okay? And during the time of dinosaurs, the gymnosperms dominated the planet. Anyone knows what is the gymnosperm and an angiosperm? Yeah?
Right there.
Very good. Gymnosperms are non-flowering.
It's right there. It's on the thing.
Yeah.
In bracket.
But nobody is answering.
Conifer. The plant.
Correct. But what is that feature? If you have to go out and you identify a gymnosperm, how will you identify it? It flowers?
No.
So the tree that I see outside here does not have a flower. So is that a gymnosperm?
Yes.
No. Not necessarily when you go and see the plant or the tree has to be flowering, right? So there are certain characteristics that you can see and identify if it's a gymnosperm or an angiosperm. But we'll not get into the details of that here because that will take that itself I can speak for about an hour. So we'll not go into the details of that. But another day we can have a discussion on that. So understand that gymnosperms dominated the earth because at that time the faunal species were very few. Okay, so somebody to pollinate or to disperse the seeds were not there. So they had to rely on 2 things. One is wind, the other one is water. These 2 things were used for their pollination and dispersal. Very good. But as lot of life formed around in the terrestrial habitats, they also changed. Okay, because they didn't have to struggle, and the probability of a seed getting dispersed to a proper condition where it can germinate would be rather lesser with wind and water than another faunal species. Like for example, wheat, jowar, or all the food crops that we eat. By giving us food, they have ensured that they survive for a longest period of time on earth. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So similarly, lot of evolution happened in those and lot of extinction happened in gymnosperms. Okay? So right now, we see more of flowering plants, that is angiosperms. Alright? Then if we move to the invertebrates, who dominates? Insects dominate. Yeah, we have highest number of species in insects. How many?
50 lakh.
More than 50 lakh different species of insects have been documented across the globe, and every year new species are getting added to that list. Understood? Evolution is much faster in organisms with shorter lifespan. Why? Okay, closer. Not every day, because their lifespan is very short. In one climatic condition or before the condition changes drastically, there are several generations already passed through that conditions, right? So they are able to adapt faster. So humans who live much longer take longer time to evolve to a certain condition. Understood? Okay. So insects highest than arachnids. Where you?
So mosquitoes have been living since when dinosaurs were there.
Yes.
So if the climate was to change right now, would the mosquitoes go extinct?
They have evolved a lot. The size of the mosquitoes back then was much bigger than what we see today. Yeah. So your science fiction movies did not just make up things out of human head. It was based on all these theories only. Okay? Alright, so do you know what are arachnids? Spiders. So how do you differentiate an arachnid from an insect? Only legs? No, not all of them are venomous.
Insects have antennae.
Insects have antenna, they don't have. Very good. 8 legs insects have? 6 legs, okay. There is one more point I am looking for.
8 eyes.
No, eyes differ based on what species they are. Not all arachnids. Scorpion is also an arachnid. How many body segments do insects have?
1, 3.
Very good. Arachnids?
2.
2. Which are they?
Head and body.
Oh. Head is not part of the body.
Bodies and legs.
Top and bottom.
Top and bottom. Very good.
Bodies and legs.
Okay. Insects also have a body, right? Their body is divided into 3 segments. Head,
Torso.
thorax, and abdomen. In case of arachnids, it's cephalothorax. The head and thorax are fused together, so that is called cephalothorax. And then abdomen. Very good. So then all other smaller category mollusks. Any examples? Somebody said.
Clam.
An example for mollusk. Clams, yes. Snail. Slugs. Very good. Okay. All right. Now moving on to vertebrates. Who dominates? Don't go by the order. Rotate the numbers. Fishes. Naturally, right? 70% of the earth is covered by water, so obviously fishes are dominating. They are the highest known vertebrates to man, but a lot of species of fishes are yet to be discovered. So this is just a rough number of what we have actually described. Alright? So how many are mammals?
5,500.
Is that a lot?
No. Yeah.
And how many species are humans?
A lot. One.
A lot? Very good. We are just one species of that 5,500. But we have the ability to change the face of the earth. So whether we make positive changes or a negative change depends completely on us. How we take decisions based on that, the changes will happen. Alright? So this is the topography map of the world. So this is a very old map, so that's why you see a lot of greenery. Today's map, if you take, you don't see so much of greenery. Okay? So why is this important? What does topography tell you?
It tells you landforms.
Very good. Landforms, the features of the land, where it is undulating, where there are mountain ranges, where is a desert, where is a forest, all that you can see here and identify. Okay, now, is it possible to save all of that? All of the green spaces, is it possible to save? Who says yeah, raise your hand. Who says no, raise your hand. This is not.
What about others?
Yeah, what about others? Not sure, so I'll just keep quiet. So the two of you who raised hands for yes. Yeah. So how do you think we can do that? See, Tulika ma'am explained about how you can go back in time and see, right? So if you look at your school campus, Maybe in 1985 this was like forest. But now we have constructed buildings. So how do you say yes? We need the schools also, right? We cannot say I'll study under the tree. If it rains, you will not study, I know. So it's very difficult to base this, but we can identify the important areas and ensure that those areas are not touched at all. Correct? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. So we come to that. So biodiversity basically is studied in 3 different ways. How many ways? 3 different ways. The first phase is called ecological diversity. Okay? In this, we study the entire ecosystem. What is an ecosystem?
The natural terrain around us.
Natural terrain around us can be termed as ecosystem? Living and non-living things. Yes, you are closer. There is one word is missing. Humans, plants and animals? Very good. The word interaction is very important. How biotic and abiotic factors interact with one another, that whole system is called as ecosystem. So when we are studying what are the different life forms and what are the abiotic factors and how they are supporting each other, that will be termed as ecological diversity studies. People, excuse me. Can you move little this side? Alright. All of you understood what is ecological diversity? Yeah. Okay. Next is species diversity. In this study, we are ignoring the abiotic factors and looking at only the biotic factors. Is that understood? Yeah. Which means you are not looking at what is the water quality, what is the soil quality, what is the temperature, what is the humidity, and all these things. Sorry?
Only the organisms.
Only the organisms.
But
so that can be termed as species diversity studies.
But when we do have to think about it,
We have to think about?
You're saying species diversity, but only thinking about the biodiversity.
We are not thinking, we are studying only the living organisms.
But study that, don't you also need to take in the biodiversity?
Say for example, I have to study the ecosystem of your entire school campus. I will study what are the different living organisms and why they are present there. So to understand that, I need the soil quality, the water quality, the temperature, humidity, everything. But I just want to know what are the different tree species here. Yeah, just for documentation. Okay, or I want to know what birds visit your campus, in what season. Understood? So those are species diversity studies. Then the third one is genetic diversity. So we study within a species what are the different genetic diversity that exists.
The genes.
The genes, yeah. So that is genetic diversity studies. At your level, at school level, you can do the first two, that is ecological diversity and species diversity. You can do projects based on these two things. Okay, genetic diversity requires a very good labs with lot of equipment, so we'll need lot of help. So at this point, we do not recommend that for you. But if you just want to see what are the varieties, for example, if you go to the shop, vegetable shop or fruit shop, you see 10 different types of bananas kept there. Or you see different types of brinjals, tomatoes, different types. So all those, even though they are one species, they have genetic modifications in them. So those are genetic diversity studies. So if you document in a particular village from your hometown, what are the different type of rice cultivated there? Okay, so those becomes genetic diversity studies. Those type of studies you can still do. And each type of those genetic diversity will have different nutritional value or health benefits.
There's like, nowadays they're creating hybrids of different plants. Does that also come under?
Yes, it does. Hybridization is a common thing which is done from a very long time. It is done for probably adding flavor to certain things or increasing pest resilience, climate resilience and things like that. Okay? Maybe a variety of rice grown in Kerala is well adapted to that kind of climatic conditions. And something that is grown somewhere else has very good nutritional benefits. So we create hybrids of that to get both. Okay? Hybridization is okay, but genetically modifying it is not environmentally sustainable. Next. Yeah.
Can you modify people? Like, can you modify their genes?
On theory, it is possible, but we don't need that. Okay? Okay, so earlier we discussed about what are the important areas to conserve, right? So it becomes difficult to conserve everywhere. Then we cannot live the lives that we are living right now. Correct? So what happens? All the nations in the world together, or most of the nations in the world together, you know United Nations? Yeah. So there are different branches in that. One of those branches works for the environment. Okay? So they got together, about 62 different countries got together and decided which are the important places in the whole world that requires conservation. And this started in 1970s, and at that time they identified about 24 different places and named it as biodiversity hotspots. You all know Wi-Fi hotspots, right? Yeah. What does it give you? So the closer you are to the hotspot, the better network it is, right? So here, the same way, wherever biodiversity hotspots are there the diversity of life is very high. Okay? That is one condition. Second condition is, there should be more endemic species to that region. Do you know what is endemic?
Yeah, native.
Yes. Not native species. You're close, but there is a small that particular area. Correct. So any species that is restricted to a particular geography, it is not found anywhere else in the world.
Indigenous.
Indigenous could be something that is native to entire India also. But there are species which we have found from one lake alone. That particular fish does not exist anywhere in the world. Just one water body. So if we think this water body is not important, we have to close it and build a shopping mall. That species is gone, extinct. So that type of endemism has to be high in that region. This is the second criteria. Third criteria is that place should have a danger from human activities. There should be some kind of threat. Only then conservation is required, right? If there is no threat, no protection required. Okay. So like that, they identified 24 different places across the globe as biodiversity hotspots. And every 5 years, they review it. And once reviewed, the numbers have increased significantly, and today we find about 36 biodiversity hotspots across the globe. How many? 36. And based on this map, you can see two colors, right? One is dark green, the other one is light green. Dark green is basically the hotspot, and the light green is the buffer area. Do you understand what is the buffer area?
Yeah, where there's no current transit happening.
There is no?
Current threat, immediate.
No. Any other answers? Okay, for your PT drill and other things, you are asked to make 2-arm distance, right? Why is that?
So that there is no clash.
Exactly. So you are creating a buffer zone around you so that you don't clash with others. Same way, these buffer zones have restrictions as per the law that they are not supposed to do certain industrial activities and other human activities. Understood? So that it does not impact the hotspot. Okay? Alright, so based on this map, can you tell if all the countries in the world has a biodiversity hotspot?
No.
No, very good. It is no. So we should be proud because India is the only country to have 4 biodiversity hotspots. Yeah, the first one is called the Himalayas. So the entire Himalayan range has a lot of endemic species, has a lot of diversity, and has human threat. So the entire Himalayan ranges are a biodiversity hotspot. Understood? The next one is Indo-Burma region. So the northeast region of India, along with the Burma or the Myanmar, what it is called today. So that forests also have a lot of endemicity, lot of diversity and human threat. So that also is declared as a biodiversity hotspot. Then the entire Western Ghats spread across 6 states and Sri Lanka. So that also has a lot of endemic species, diversity as well as human threat, because of which because of which it is declared as a biodiversity hotspot. And the last one is the Sundaland, which if you can see here, which you can see here, the forest types are more similar to the forest of Indonesia, Thailand, Singapore and that region. So that comes under the hotspot of Sundaland, even though administratively it is under India. Okay, so that way we are the only country to have 4 biodiversity hotspots. So I was told by Jubilee that you all learn about sustainability. So these are the 3 pillars of sustainability where we not only focus on the social and the economical aspect but also the environmental aspect. It's very important, like how that whole screen is standing on a tripod. Right? Our way of life is balanced with these 3 pillars. If any one is more stressed or not taken care properly, the whole thing will collapse. Yeah. So it's very important that we look at these 3 things. Now, alright, so I'll give you a small case study, right? So TVR sir was speaking about the entire Western Ghats, entire Bangalore, correct? Using the satellite. But this is a small scale project that we have worked upon in an educational institution like yours. Okay? So, Murugidre, we did a conference in 2016 December. I think you did participate in that. Yeah. So your seniors, super seniors who passed out also participated in that conference. So they all had come to Murugidre to participate there. Alright, so there we were having this conference and then accidentally the management there discussed of a problem that they had. That is the building that you can see there, right? The red color floor, roof that you can see, that is the girls' hostel. Alright, and next to that, the open area that you can see used to be a football ground. Okay, so there were a lot of conflicts between that area and management was deciding on how to mitigate that problem. Now we ecologists are opportunists, like vultures and other scavengers. So we scavenge for all the areas that we can get to make it biodiversity rich. So when we found out that this problem was there, we told the management that we will create Asia's first open bird park in your campus. Does it sound tempting? Yeah. Yes. So it was tempting for them. So they gave about 1.2 acres of land for us. Yeah, 1.2 acres of commercial land for us to make it Asia's first open bird park. Alright, so when we got the land, it was like this. Wow. So when I walked through the land, it was like the KGF movie feel. With every step, the smoke used to come like that. The silt was so loose that I used to feel like a movie hero. Okay? But the challenge started then. Because that soil was so loose, we could not plant any saplings. Right? If we plant, the intensity of rain is so high there that the plants also will get washed away along with it. Those who are from Bangalore know it very well. Alright, so we had to stabilize the soil. Right? So how to do that?
Add more soil.
Add more soil, very good. He's talking like an engineer. We don't do that. Ecologically, there are certain living organisms that can actually stabilize the soil. Okay? So before that, we also studied. Sir's lab did a study using the satellite data to understand what is the groundwater level and also what are the different perennial water bodies around the campus. Now we noticed that there were no perennial water bodies around there, and Sir gave us the estimate of what is the groundwater level. And then studying the topography, he also gave a plan to the engineers there how to design the water to flow into the pond. So we designed a pond of 20 meter by 20 meter. How much?
20 meter by 20 meter.
Okay, and we gave the shape of a saucer. You all understand a saucer, right? So we gave that shape. But again, it was given to the engineers, right? So they made a well. Instead of a saucer, it became a well like this. Okay? So the whole point of the reason why we wanted it to be in saucer shape was so that we can plant grasses around it and then that could be used by the birds as a nesting site. Okay? But once it is made a well, now space is gone, right? And now there is already another threat that this wall can collapse anytime with the intensity of rain and the stability of the soil that is existing there. So we decided, so this is just for you to understand the intensity of rains. You can see how much of erosion has happened in one rain, right? In May 2017, you can see me standing there with red t-shirt. I look very tiny, yeah. That is to show you how big the pond is, alright? So you can see how much erosion happens, right? So in June, we started the work. We planted buffalo grass into that entire area, like how people work in paddy fields. Like that, we planted there. Immediately what happened, within a month, you can see how the soil transformed, right? The texture of the soil completely changed. Now, we had assured of bird park, right? So we had to monitor the birds. So at this time, we started monitoring the birds every month. So 2 days in a month, I go there, I stay there and we monitor the birds involving the students in the campus. Okay? So these were the only species that were found there, which is common to any urban habitat. Okay? So it was not that great. So we used students there to plant the saplings. Before that, what we had done a study of the nearby areas to understand what are the native species of plants and trees that are existing there, and which of them will provide food for the birds. Okay? The idea that we use for having the bird park is, whenever we go to forest for field work, we come to the nearby villages for food, right? So how do you select the good eatery option? No, we can't go to 10 different places.
How many people are there?
Say he owns a shop. Will he tell this guy's shop has better food?
No. Depends upon how many people are inside.
No, wait.
How many people are inside?
Exactly. If his restaurant has a lot of people and this is right next to it but no people, which serves the better food?
This one.
Exactly. So we use the same funda in our bird park. We wanted to ensure there is plenty of good food for the birds so that they naturally walk in. Okay? So all these species that are planted are species that will give food for the birds. Thank you. So these are some of the pictures after the planting was done. So you can still see how the soil is very, very loose, right? Yeah. So you can see how slowly with the passing of months, the grass started growing more densely and then the soil also started stabilizing much better. Now in October 2017, you can see it is taking a shape of a nice garden, right? And we still have water present in the pond. Yeah, that water. Now look at the birds. With the addition of vegetation, there were a lot of insects and reptiles and everything that came around. So with that, the birds automatically followed them. Okay? If you see, most of them are insectivore except the pigeon, which is granivore but is open to all the urban habitats. So we found that. We found peepholes walking around and students were always taking selfies with them. By December, we lost the water. Okay? 1 year fast forward, you can see how the landscape has transformed. Right? Along with the landscape, can you see blue boards around? Yeah. You know why they came up? Yeah, why they came up? Because every month when I went, students planted those saplings, right? So I was like, you planted, right? Tell me the name of this plant. And they would have forgotten it because they were engineering students. Alright, so they knew sir was going to come and then ask about the plant name. So what they did, they made the boards and they stuck it up near the tree, each plant, whatever they planted. Okay, so now when I ask them the name, they will easily look at the board and then tell me the name. So now I have gone one step ahead. I will ask more details about the sapling. Because it's been so many years, right? So they should know more information about the plants. Now you know what they are doing? They are making a QR code. If you go and scan the QR code, you get every detail about that sapling. See how our questioning is innovating. It's leading to their innovation. Okay. So now we'll move ahead. Look at the birds. 1 year later, there were a lot of plants that started fruiting and flowering. So a lot of frugivore and nectarivore birds also started appearing in the bird park. Okay? And then you can see those saplings in the previous slide was to my knee level. Now it has outgrown me, but I for some reason are not growing. Very curious mystery. Okay, now 2019. Where is the pond? Where it is gone? Walking? Hiding, yes, very good. The saplings have grown so tall, right? So from the aerial view that I had, we cannot see the pond. Now the COVID happened in 2020, but between the first wave and second wave there was a gap, so we went and I took this picture then, and you can see how it's no longer looking like a garden but like a forest. September 2021, 2022 and March 2023, the same sapling I was standing here, I cannot even cover it under the photograph, but I for some reason again still not growing. And you can see March is summer season, right? And look at the water. But water is there in the pond. So it just shows how channeling all the water from the campus to the pond recharges the groundwater, and after the 5th year, the water is there for the campus and for the people in the campus to use. Okay, so now to water those saplings, the water from this pond itself is taken. And taken as in not by pumping out and then putting it through drip or sprinklers. It's there underground. And that is enough for the trees. So we are not using any electricity or any pumps or anything like that to water the saplings. And you can see in the top right side how the feel of walking through that area looks like. It just feels like you're walking through a forest. This is May 2025, peak summer. This year summer. When the surrounding area had turned yellow and brown because there was no water and area had dried up, look at how lush this looks like. Right? And then, not just that, because every month we were monitoring the birds, in 2019 itself, we published a book called Birds of Shobona. The campus is called Shobona Campus. And we documented 104 different species of birds, out of which 41 of them came from country outside India. So migratory birds. So now we are documenting so many species also nesting there. So that concludes the case study, and we'll go back to the initial question that I had asked you. I think I have given you enough time to think about it.
So who has got the answer?
No one. Okay, I will give you some clues. I am sure you can answer after that.
Maybe. Are you?
Maybe. Okay, I'll give you the clue. All of you are in which city? Bangalore. Which river water do you drink? Kaveri. Good, you know that. In some places they said overhead tank because they didn't know the source of the water. Okay. So Kaveri is a seasonal river or a perennial river? Perennial. Seasonal river. Who said seasonal river? Yeah, why do you think it's a seasonal river? Very good. It is a rain-fed river. That was going to be my next question. Thank you for that. So it is not a seasonal river. No, don't fight. It's okay. I will help. Kaveri is a perennial river. But they both are correct that it is rain-fed. So my next question to you is, how does a river that is rain-fed? So monsoon is how many months? 2. Yeah, around 4 months. Okay, so how does rainfall for 4 months sustain water in the river for 12 months? Because of glaciers. Because of glaciers. We don't have glaciers in South India. Groundwater supply.
Water table. In the ground when it's needed. Tigers.
What do you mean when it is needed?
When it's very dry.
We don't have springs in South India?
Water?
Water?
Does the water go into the water table when it rains?
Interesting, yeah.
Young chance, backside.
It rains so much in those 4 months that there's enough water for the whole year.
Yeah, so the river says, okay, I will not release all the water at once. I will release little by little. Is that possible? River is a biotic factor or a abiotic factor? I will fail.
Dams?
Abiotic factor, not a biotic factor. Okay, somebody here said biotic. Any other answers? Very good. That is a wrong answer. Because of the dam, the water flow is actually obstructed. If it was not there, it would have been flowing throughout the year. And she would not have been confused that it's a seasonal.
Do tigers break dams?
Huh?
Do tigers break dams?
Why?
Do tigers break the dam?
Why don't they break the dam?
Do they? Is that how?
They sometimes do. A few years ago in Himalayas that happened.
She asked
Oh no. Tigers don't break the dams. Okay, let me help you. Okay, yeah. Let me give you one more thing. Where does River Kaveri take birth? Thank you. And Kaveri are both correct answers. Kur, Gaur, Kodagu both are one and the same. How many of you have been to any part of Western Ghats?
I'm from there.
Most of you have, very good. Which means you would have seen something like this, right? The mountain ranges. What does the dark green and the light green indicate? I have 2 ears, but how many people can I listen to?
Raise your hand nicely.
But please raise your hand, yes.
Dense vegetation.
Which color is dense vegetation? And the light green? Oh no.
Open place.
Very good. The dark green are wooded forests and the light green are the grasslands. Okay, that is why there is a very clear distinction between the colors. Alright? Now this light green acts like a sponge. What happens when you pour water onto it?
It
Absorbs as much as possible, and then if you keep pouring,
will overflow.
it will overflow. That is what happens during the monsoon season. The overflow forms like a stream, and then many streams join together form small rivers. Many small rivers join together to form
A big river.
major rivers or big rivers. Okay? Now, what happens after you stop pouring water and lift the sponge up?
Water drips out.
Water drips out. Does it flow at once?
No.
Drop by drop, right? So the same thing happens in the next season. What is the next season? It is not summer after monsoon.
Winter.
Right, winter. So in winter, there is accumulation of water also in the form of fog. I'll give you this. Okay, there is accumulation of water in the form of fog, but majority of it is dripping into the streams, and that is why the water level in the rivers reduces but not completely down. Understood? Next is what season?
Spring.
We don't have spring in India. Summer. Thank you. So it is like you are holding the sponge for a very long time. So what happens to the water?
It gets
Yeah, it becomes dry. Okay? All the water will be gone and it becomes dry. The same thing happens here. During the summer, this landscape would change its color to
green.
brown or yellow because everything goes dry. But the dark green areas will remain the same. Okay? So now we have to bring the animals, right?
How are tigers even related to this?
Bringing animals now.
Animals are tigers.
Wait, patience. Tiger also will come. Okay, now we come to certain herbivores. In Western Ghats, especially looking at the Kaveri case, especially looking at the Kaveri, we have in Kodagu different types of herbivores. We have 4 different types of deers. One is spotted deer, samba deer, barking deer, and mouse deer. Okay. Now, these deers are hunted by a variety of carnivore beings. Not and humans. Humans will get arrested if they do. Okay, but there is one herbivore which cannot be hunted by other small carnivores, and that is the Indian bison. Okay, this is a very huge animal. As you can see, it looks like a bodybuilder, right? So it is very huge. Okay, and they live in a herd, and the herd can range from 40 to 150 individuals. Okay, and they can feed upon tons of grass in a week. Yeah, tons of grass. So if there is no check of population, their population will further increase, and then they can empty an entire mountain like that in about a month.
And the tigers will
Then that sponge effect is gone. So a perennial river will turn into a seasonal river. And the only thing that is stopping that from happening is the Bengal tiger, which is present in our forest. Because of which, if tigers are there, we have so we have to conserve tigers, not because it's a national animal, not because it's a majestic animal, but because you and I need water to survive.
What about the other carnivores?
We don't have lions in South India. Other carnivores cannot hunt a mighty bison.
Even panthers.
Even? No, they cannot. We don't have gorillas in India. It's an omnivore, not a pure carnivore. Okay. All of you understood this?
Yeah.
Now, this is just one example of the intricate connections that exist in nature. Okay? There are hundreds and thousands of connections like this, which only if we truly understand nature will be visible to us. Till today, you did not know how tiger is linked to your drinking water. But now you know, and if tigers go extinct, you know what will happen. Okay? Like this, there are hundreds and thousands of connections in nature which you have to study. And any species which has certain amount of effect on multiple other organisms. Imagine tiger is extinct from Western Ghats. We lose water. Because of lack of water, so many other living organisms also lose life. Right? So tiger here will be considered as a keystone species. Which means the entire system is dependent on that particular animal. In your syllabus, you would study about Yellowstone National Park. Today? They don't, that also is removed. Okay, great. Okay, you can Google about it. I mean, there are a lot of different examples like this. I'll come to the Google thing, I know. Okay? So you can research about it and then you can understand truly about nature. So with this, I conclude my session. If you have any questions other than Google related thing, you can ask. Otherwise, or after the questions, I will answer to the Google thing.
Yeah. You know, children, yesterday, 29th July, do you know what is the significance of the day?
Yes, very good. It is World Tiger Day. Every 29th of July is observed as a World Tiger Day in order to conserve tiger, not because it is a national animal, because it gives us water. Yeah, what is your question? How many? Okay. Your friend has a very valid question. How are Bengal tigers not in Bengal alone? Why are they near Kaveri? It is the name of the species and the names are given where they were first described. Okay, so there is a species of ficus also says Ficus bengalensis, which means it was first described in Bengal, but does not mean that it cannot grow in other places. Answer? How many? But we don't have lions in South India. Cheetah became extinct, now they are reintroducing it. But Kaveri River, it's only tiger. Yeah, tiger is bigger than a lion. Any other questions? How can you? Why do you want to fight Bengal tigers? Huh? You just want to know it. Okay. Silence, please. Okay, one of your friend has a question like how can she find Bengal tigers? One is you can go to any of the zoos and see them.
Stand in the forest.
But the wild ones completely depend on your fate on that day. Because tigers are very, very shy animals. Yeah, they are shy. They like to be left alone. They like to be by themselves. And if they hear human noise even little bit, they try to avoid that place. Okay? So if you have seen a tiger, that is fine. Look, yeah. Zoo you leave it. No, they don't. I have seen a tiger while I was walking in the forest, so they are very gentlemanish. Yeah. Yes. Zoo is different, they are used to people. Okay, any other questions based on the session? They are also required for the ecosystem because they help the tiger and other organisms sustain. They keep the population check of certain plant species also. They are not sacrificing. Nobody says come eat. And what you are going to do with the knowledge that you have gained today?
Be sustainable.
No mass answers. I want you to raise hands, stand up, and answer with the mic. Okay, can you?
Researching about this topic or we have a presentation, we can use this knowledge. And also, if we are studying science in the future, then we can benefit the knowledge.
Very good. So I like one point, the last statement that she made. If we are taking science in future, it will benefit me more. Right? So what if you are not planning to take science? Is it not important? How? Tool knowledge I don't want. Even if you take other streams of your career or your education, you still need 3 basic things to survive. Air, water and food. Right? Sunlight is available, but air, water and food you still need it. So it is important that you know how to manage them. Anybody else?
Makes us like think before we make any action, like is it good for my environment? Just doing something very small, like how I said, like if there's just 1 degree increase in temperature, then the whole ecosystem, like all the biodiversity can change. There will be more harmful stuff coming up, so we have to be like very careful of what we're doing. We must.
You can speak louder.
We can't really tamper with the nature. We cannot even try making inventions to produce oxygen or make artificial water because it's not going to be really sustainable in the long term and it's not beneficial at all. They raise problems in other places. Like if we are trying to make electric oxygen producing machines, we are actually polluting electricity and all. The generation is again going to pollute.
Loudly, everybody should hear.
Here, somebody, yeah.
We should not use ChatGPT or AI.
Yes.
So yeah, just give a sense of logic to what the
You might repeat it anytime.
So these kind of sessions, they help us understand.
Okay, I'll ask somebody to summarize what she is speaking.
They help give a sense of logic to what we already learn, like sustainability. When we understand the logic and all the research behind it, we are more inclined to follow and do what we're doing and be kind to the environment.
Okay, children, I have a question. When do you say the person is happy?
Buzzer is happy.
One second.
When they have what they want.
When they have
People are happy when you have what you want.
when you got salary.
Okay, I will give you a hint. Yeah.
When that person got his salary.
Okay. You like that? Not you. When?
Yes, could you repeat once again? We could not hear. Okay.
Okay, children. You know, a person is happy only when he or she sleeps well.
And our children actually summarized, and by that we got, it's like a feedback which we got by the way the way they were responding and answering. So it's like, oh, they carried forward, right? We started off with a tissue, right? So sir told us why we shouldn't use a tissue. Then we went on to various activities, day-to-day activities, be it your Swiggy or be it your Zomato, and how we are harming our environment, right? Simple activities, right? Then apart from that, our session by Tulika ma'am with respect to our mapping. So now Saturday, this is going to be an activity, right? Mapping our campus, lake, and what else? Your path from your house to the school, right? Then after that, we had a lovely session by Vijulal sir, and every other session, we have been having sessions by them, and they are very kind enough to come and enlighten us. And every time even we teachers learn so many new things, and it's nice to share it with the group.